Hello and welcome to the Green Machine Live, your home for football news and nostalgia, where you lovely people in Facebook land and YouTube and wherever you get your podcast, you have your say. Unless you're listening to the audio version, then it's too late. You should watch the live one. But anyway, Nick, how are you doing? No, Martin.
No, Martin. I have COVID. I have
You have
COVID.
COVID. Stay over there. Stay away from
Yeah,
me.
a year to the day since I got it the last time, and I'm fairly floored. I can't believe it.
Uh,
I didn't think it was. I didn't think it was a thing anymore.
no, you're so old fashioned. At least get
Yeah,
something good. Get monkeypox or something.
yeah,
Um,
or
yeah.
or the clap, or I don't know. Anyway, that's for another time. Different podcast. Wrong podcast.
Yeah, do you need to go and Breen's dating one for that? No, we have no Martin. It is Paddy's Day, partly in London. That's where he is, but that's where he was. I met Martin up in London. There they are, all there. There's Cahill. There's Declan, who's probably not watching the show, and Martin did send us a few photographs. Sorry, Martin, forgot to put them up, but we just kind of forgot. Out of sight, out of mind. Yeah, he actually goes to me today. He says, I haven't had any coffee. All I've had to eat is 5 pints of Guinness.
Yeah,
And I
barley
did mean,
sandwiches.
well, they are. It is a meal, I suppose, in a glass. So that's where Martin is. Nick, we didn't have you yourself last week. What were you up to? How was your week?
I was in Liverpool getting COVID.
Did you happen to watch anything whilst in Liverpool?
I watched how much I was drinking, unlike Martin.
7 pints?
Not quite, no. I'm very
No.
sensible.
So 7 pints probably not. You got you kids today.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's where we are. So we're back anyway this week. As I said, Martin's probably in a ditch somewhere where Nick was last week. I'm the only one here, the only constant on Green Machine are our boys in green 58. I think. Are we at 58 now?
58 what?
Is this our boys in green? Obig
Oh,
58.
yeah, yeah. It's our 58 live. Yeah, it's, Jesus, probably our 250th altogether. But yeah, it's our 58 live.
It
Yeah.
is indeed.
Wow.
We fabulous. So I mean, let's get started. We got so much to talk about on tonight's show. We're going to have a chat about the new badge, new FAI badge, new team badge. We're going to get your say on that. And by the way, don't forget, as always, leave a comment, get involved. We want to hear from you. This is Irish football's most interactive podcast. The other places, they don't want to hear what you have to say. We do. We want to hear what you have to say. So get on there. Drop us a comment, and yeah, we'll put it up here. Just don't get us taken off the air. Right, let's get into it. Let's get into Obig 58. I'm going to play the sexy graphic. Still no music. Are we getting that sorted? You were telling us in Liverpool you were going to get that sorted, Nick.
Yeah, I was having negotiations in Liverpool with our musician, Adam. So, Adam, if you're listening, get the music sorted.
Get your finger out, Adam. There we go. Right,
Uh,
our boys in green.
should tell him that last weekend.
Yeah. Yet again, this is not a podcast for your sorty deed. Anyway, our boys in green 58. So, Nick, you were missing last week. I took over. We didn't miss you.
Yeah.
Off you go.
Yeah. And you couldn't even pronounce Chidozie Ogbeni correctly, I believe.
Off you go.
Right. So our boys in green from the weekend. So Gavin Bazunu, very, very good performance today. Clean sheet for Southampton in the in their 0-0 win.
0-0 win
versus Manchester United. Did you see the saves, David?
He was phenomenal. Wasn't he?
Yeah.
Wasn't he ever so good, Nick? Wasn't he brilliant?
Excellent.
Wasn't he wonderful? I mean,
yeah.
Got the 4-1 during the week. Couldn't quite do it against a Premier League team. Couldn't quite do it against Gavin Mazunu, who was outstanding.
Very
I salute
impressive.
you, Gavin.
Very impressive. And getting a lot of abuse from people who aren't really watching him. But the thing is, whenever the spotlight is on him, whenever he's playing against one of the big teams and people watch him, they're full of praise. But when they're looking at, like, let's say Southampton play Leeds or Southampton play Bournemouth or something, and they lose or they draw or whatever, people are very, very quick to go down Gavin Bazunu's throat, aren't they? Without even watching, because the game hasn't been live on TV. It's probably been live somewhere. But they haven't watched it. And then when they actually watch him, they're like, "Who is this guy?" And I saw a tweet today from some Welsh guy, and it was something along the lines of, "Oh, why is it that every time United play a minnow team, the keeper does a Oliver Kahn impression. I was almost going to say it's Gavin Bazoo now. They're like almost making out as who is this guy? But look, it just shows the ignorance of a lot of Premier League fans. He's an excellent player, Gavin.
Especially Man United ones today.
Mm-hmm.
Continue.
Right. So into the championship, Tom Cannon, second goal of the season with Greg Cunningham assisting that goal with long little ball over the top. Preston North End, they beat Cardiff 1-0. Michael Obafemi, an assist for Burnley in their 3-0 win over James McLean's Wigan Athletic. Conor Hourhan, another assist for Derby. They beat Oxford United 3-1. We're scraping the barrel here, Dave, aren't we? We're
Jesus Christ.
Still into League One. So Paddy O'Connor, a goal for Lincoln in their 2-1 loss versus Exeter City. And Dan Crowley scoring a goal, which was assisted by Ryan Delaney, who a lot of people might remember from his time at Cork City. They were playing for Morecambe. They lost 3-1 to Shrewsbury Town. But a couple of goals a little bit further afield. John Gallagher, don't know if you saw that one, Dave. A goal for Austin in their 2-1 win over Real Salt Lake City.
No, I must have missed that one, Nick.
Yeah. You didn't see it, no?
No.
Excellent goal. So John Gallagher. So he was born in Dundalk. Spent a bit of time in the States as a kid. Spent a bit of time in Jamaica, apparently. Had trials with Juventus. Had trials with a couple of English clubs. Ended up in the MLS with Austin. Originally a centre forward, but he's playing full back now. And he scored a lovely little solo goal. He kind of ran half the pitch and then he curled it in with his left foot, which is his weaker foot. So an excellent goal. And then Aaron McAnuff, a goal for Perth Glory in their 1-0 win versus the Western Sydney Warriors. And that's our boys in green for the week.
Do you hear that noise? Can you hear that in your headphones?
It's my dulcet tones, yeah.
No, it's the sound of the barrel being scraped. But anyway, thank you for that, Nick. That is our boys in green. Another one of those next week. Jesus. Where we will be covering the five-a-side.
we had a good run. We had a very good run.
Yeah, that's kind of come to an end.
It had to end, yeah.
It was actually very funny comment here, actually. I know we don't do the comments yet, but Nuri Neok, if you should be up on this week's live podcast, Martin shamelessly employed his kids to hand out green machine stickers on the London St. Patrick's Parade today. He actually did. He did. See, Martin believes in the project. Nuri Neok. Damn him. Just don't tell Childline. All right, so we're going to get on to the big discussion here now, which is obviously it's the new promised relaunch of the FAI.
Yeah.
The rebranding. Now, a very hot topic. We're going to get into the comments. We had a load of comments during the week. We had some comments today, so we're going to get through as many of those as possible without boring everybody to tears.
But I'm already bored, Dave.
But here's the video that they put on YouTube. Here is the video that the FAI on FAI TV put up to show everybody that, everything's grand now. Everything's fine. So here we go. Here you have it. To be fair, it's actually a very nice video put together by the FAI team there. So fair play. That's the launch. There's a couple of other reactionary bits that we'll get to in a second, but here it is anyway. So here it is, a nice still shot of both of them, Nick. FAI on the left, and you have Ireland football on the right. So two different identities. They've obviously gone with, The sins of the father shall not be passed on to the football team. So there you go. I like the FAI badge. I really do. I think it's quite nice. It's very simple, very clear. And the Ireland football one, haven't got my media badges yet. They should be getting those tomorrow. So I'm going to play it safe. I think that's a fabulous badge. What do you think?
It's what I would imagine going into a marriage that you know is going to fail. I want to love it because I'm stuck with it, but I just don't like it. I mean, first of all, the Shamrock was more crooked than John Delaney, so they might as well keep the FAI thing in there.
Allegedly, okay.
They might as well have kept FAI in there. It just looks very cheap. I mean, it's kind of, if you look at football badges and if you look at football crests, there's something kind of premium and classy looking about them. That just looks like, I don't know, it looks like a bar logo. As I said, I really want to like it. I like the shape of it. I love that kind of double circle. I love the flag going underneath it. It's just the Shamrock. It's very animation-y. I think it needs to look a little bit more coat of arms-esque. And the what's it called? The type. I don't know why they've gone for a smaller typography underneath. And the Ireland football FBI, this whole kind of detachment of brands or whatever, I don't really get it. Ireland football just sounds stupid. As I said, I really want to love this. I think it's actually going to look really nice when it's embroidered on the jersey. Yeah. If it's Castori and they stick it on upside down with the kind of, iron on crest, I think it's going to look a bit shit, to be honest. But look, I'm very fussy with it. I don't think I was ever going to be happy with it. I think the simpler the better. It's just the animation-y kind of aspect to it I'm not mad about.
So Nick's not totally mad about it there. I said I love the FAI badge. I think that's clear. It's perfect. The other one, let's hear what you guys had to say about it. So some of the comments we had. Kieran Kilmartin, this is on the Facebook page, the Lansdowne Road Facebook page. So a lot of interaction on here. Kieran Kilmartin, anything's better than the last one. Not one of the classic badges restored I hoped for, but this is growing on me already. Peter O'Toole, excellent. Graham McCabe, Aldi version of the greatest crest ever. I mean, he's referring to the original beautiful crest, which is, as you can see, the Steve Staunton logo on the top of this.
I'm wearing it.
No, you're not. You're not wearing it. You're wearing a bastardized version of it, Nick. We had this discussion. It's not the real one. Don't fucking get me started. David Meyer, not Myler. Love it. Pete Jelfs, I like it. Simple and effective. Just like me. Kevin Hogan, class, I like it. Simon McCarthy, great crest. Catherine M. Keegan, it's very nice. Catherine. I prefer us qualifying for tournaments and giving a shit about jerseys and crests. There's always one, isn't there?
Yeah. Dan McDonald was kind of making that point as well. But what people have to realize is it's a product, and people are going to buy this product, or you hope they buy this product or buy into it. And that does have a bearing on finances and money going into grassroots, because a lot of the jersey sales goes into grassroots. I mean, we know that from the previous regime.
Yes.
So it does actually matter. It does actually have a knock-on effect.
It's your identity. Like, it's the team's identity. It's what they see on the pitch. It's what you see when the graphics go up, when Sky do their thing, when they do their 30-second preview. Kevin Hogan, it looks well made to his mate Dermot Lavery. Ray Holland, I like it. Not love, but like. And Reynolds, what's with the lopsided Shamrock? Carl Quinn, it's an improvement anyway. Paul J. Franklin goes, I wonder where he got the idea from. And he shares our lingus. Actually, I did. There was a stock image. Sean O'Leary goes a bit more into depth. Germany, Italy, England, Holland, Portugal, etc. all have something short and sweet that you instantly know it's them. Ireland need that and can do it with this badge. Very good. Jared Daly, just in case you thought it was the rugby team. Big improvement. Like it from Liam Curry. And where was... and here's the one I want to go out on from the Facebook comment. Well, actually, Jared Clark just put like the laughing emoji. But Terry Rafferty, there should have been an open competition to design it. I think that's an interesting point. Until I saw Terry's comment. Why not get a bit of engagement into it? Why not get,
the
whip up a bit of interest?
Do a Texaco art competition special. I mean, didn't
Get the crayons out.
Martin's buddy design didn't it kind of went viral and people were very I actually wasn't mad about it. No offense, but I think it would have been a great. I mean, we don't even know who designed it. It was quite clearly done on Canva, which is a free, design app or whatever. There's nothing wrong with Canva, but you can see it was done. Like, really, you should have been hiring a really, really premium designer who would have come up with the goods. As I said, a lot of people like it. I just think it was done with very little thought and in very little time, I think.
Well, here's a couple of live comments here anyway. Martin Orr, the badge is going to be out of date in around 3 years. The shamrock would be nice if straight. Not a fan of the orange circle on the outside. Nuri Newick, I like the new emblem, but what about the new kit? Still on news on the Castori deal. I'm hearing dark rumours Ireland will turn out against Latvia and France wearing Umbro with the logo taped over. We've heard nothing. No. We've heard nothing on that at all. We haven't. We don't want to speculate, but we have heard similar rumors, but they're just rumors. Speaking of the three, the orange on the crest and the logo and all that kind of stuff. So here's another look at it again on the right hand side. Well, actually, even the FAI badge. But have a look here. There's some resemblance.
Yeah.
I mean, football badges are like that anyway.
Just for the audio listeners, that's the German, FA badge.
Well, that's what you, the people, think about it. Let's have a look and see what the players think about it.
All right, let's have a look at this then. Can I go?
It's really cool.
That crest is class.
Totally impressed. It's gorgeous and well impressed.
You can see straight away that's Ireland, that's the Irish colour, that's the Irish presence.
I'm happy. I'm happy with that. I don't know, I just love it. Gives me goosebumps.
I mean, what the fuck were they going to say? Do you know what I mean? That's shy.
That is cringe, isn't it? Like, that is just... as you said, they're hardly going to come in and be like...
That's bollocks.
They're going to be like, that's a load of bollocks. Of course they're going to go in and, I don't know, that kind of shit annoys me. Anyway.
Look, it's not terrible. I actually like I like the crest that we had. The previous one, I know everyone hated it. I liked it. I thought it was. Do
you know what? I was looking at I was doing a bit of a tidy up yesterday and I was looking at a couple of my jerseys, and the 2010 jersey, the one that was designed by Louis Copeland, it's basically it's basically the old emblem, but it's just the outside and it's just white. Like, it's really, really plain and simple. And as much as I didn't like the last crest, when it was done properly and when it was on a nice shirt, it looked all right. Like, it didn't look great. I mean, I like this one. I like kind of the old school ones. I like the more kind of, as I say, coat of arm looking ones, which you've never really had. But that one had its place. I think this one is. It is more identifiable, if that makes sense. You had to have a shamrock on it. The last one had like a weird kind of alien looking shamrock, but I mean,
I liked it.
Yeah, but going back to that video, it's just I don't know. I hate that shit. I hate that kind of crap.
It is bad. I just pop, on here I get all the likes and stuff on here and the viewers, and James McGuigan is angry. What are you angry about, James? If you're watching, tell us in the comments. Is it Nick? Has Nick upset you? Nick, why have you upset James? Come on now. That video is proper cringy. But yet again, what are you gonna do? But like, I get it. They're trying to get that's Nathan Collins, Dara O'Shea, Louise Quinn, and
Megan Campbell.
There we go. Over there on, basically saying how lovely it is. Speaking of which, obviously we got the qualifiers and friendly coming up on the 22nd and 27th at the end of this month. So Stephen Kenny is due to announce his squad in the next couple of days. I think it's the 16th, is it?
It's looking like the 15th, yeah.
15th, yeah. So we're going to just have a little talk about who we think is going to make it. I haven't done a graphic for this. I'm awfully lazy. But here's Martin's 23. And by the way, if you've got any suggestions listening, please put them in the comments. We'll get to that. Well, here's Martin's the goalkeepers. It's a lock, isn't it? It's Kelleher, Bazuna, who was brilliant today. Mark Travers, who sat on the bench in a match we won't talk about yesterday. So yeah, we're all in agreement with that, aren't we?
Yeah, absolutely. Like the only other argument would be Max O'Leary, and I think he has to come in for Travers because even when Travers was playing, there's a myth around Travers that he had a great season. He was poor. He's been poor for Bournemouth. I've watched him. He's been poor. So that's the only argument I'd have. Kelleher, look, Kelleher does have that bit of quality. He's not playing though. Bazunu, I mean,
okay,
he's getting in there. So maybe Max O'Leary, but I do think he'll miss out.
So we'll look here then in the defenders: Doherty, Coleman, Collins, O'Shea, Egan, Amamadeli, Lenihan, McLean, Brady. Does he have Brady in there? So I'm going to go Brady as a defender in there as well. I've gone with that as well. I don't see what else he's going to do. You have gone for. I think you've gone with the same, haven't you?
Defenders. Yeah. I think I went the same. I might have. So like that, did I go Lenihan? Like this isn't who I want.
You did,
this
yeah.
This is who prediction. I thought would get in.
This is prediction, yeah. Don't have a go. So you went for the exact same.
Yeah.
Midfielders. This is where it gets a little bit different. So he's gone with Cullen, Malumbi, Brown, cousin Will. I'm not allowed to say that actually, am I?
Brother Will, no?
Brother Will. Callum. Jesus. Jeff Hendrick. Yes, Hendrick.
Brother Will and Lover Callum.
Yeah. I have gone with that. However, I did say that I just have this weird feeling a small bone won't be included, and he will put in. What did I say? McGrath, Jamie McGrath instead of
he could go from. He didn't play at the weekend. I don't think. Yeah, or maybe it might have been. Maybe it was last weekend. He did miss out the game. McGrath.
He just loves McGrath.
I went with Sykes. I went with Mark Sykes. He's in form.
You did go with Mark Sykes. Forwards. He's gone Ferguson, Parrott, Obafemi, Ida, Og, Benny. You went for Ida, Parrott, Ferguson, Obafemi, Cannon, and Mickey Johnson,
Cannon, yeah,
and Obafemi as well. And then, of course, on his standby list, he's got Sykes, Hogan, Manning, McGrath, Mick Johnston, O'Leary, all on standby. I know Mickey Johnston has been called
Mikey.
Mick. There's no Mikey in an Ireland squad. So Mickey Johnston has been called in, has been, the paperwork's gone through. It's all official. Yeah. That doesn't mean anything because Marcus Harness was the same. Sammy Smollix was the same brought over and nothing really has come there. So it's going to be interesting to see. But sure, look, that's not what we want. That's what what we think is going to come in. But
it's what we're predicting. It's what we think is going to happen. Yeah.
And when it comes through, we will do a podcast straight away just for you, the people. The beautiful people. We will have an audio podcast, and that should be coming out on the 15th or 16th. We reckon the 15th. Very coy. We did try to ask them. They wouldn't give us anything. Bastards. FAI. No, I love the FAI. They're wonderful, lovely organization. At least until I get my media badges. Question, actually, because if I don't ask, I'm going to be shot by a mate of mine. But just very quickly on the FAI, I mean, obviously we have the rebrand now, we have the restructure, and it's FAI and Football Ireland and all this kind of stuff. Still no team sponsor, main team sponsor. No news of that. No nothing. Still no mention of a Castori crest yet. We've got Paddy's weekend coming up next weekend. We've got Cheltenham Festival. Ireland could win the Grand Slam against England after a great result against Scotland today. Very, very good performance to come back from that. Still no mention of a shirt.
No.
Do we think Jonathan Hill, he's 2 years into the job?
Mm-hmm.
I think he's doing a fabulous job, just saying.
What's your question?
I mean, what's he...
What's he doing?
What's
Jonathan Hill doing?
What's going on?
Look, this whole FAI restructuring, it's still the FAI. I mean, there's people in the FAI now that were in the FAI years ago when it was crooked as the shamrock on the badge. I don't understand this whole FAI and I haven't got a business background or a marketing background, but I don't understand this whole FAI branding and this Football Ireland branding. Some people will get it, some people will understand it. It's still the FAI, and as I said, there's a lot of people who are still involved. They operate like the old FAI in many ways. They're not as crooked, let's say, but there are still glaring questions over how things are run. In terms of the shirt sponsor and in terms of Jonathan Hill's involvement, you have a couple of things at play here. So the first thing is Castori. We know the link here with Mike Ashley. And we know that Mike Ashley is owed a lot of money by the FAI, and he is involved with Castori. So we know that that is one factor. The other factor we know is with Jacko Sport, yes, they were in huge debt, but they were challenging the decision for the contract to be terminated. So I think that there's a lot of stuff going on behind the scenes that we're not aware about. To be honest, I think come the 15th or what's that, Wednesday, in a couple of days when the squad is announced, I think we're going to see a shirt launch, or if not, it's going to be when the team meet up, isn't it? It's going to be, I suppose, when the lads actually fly into the squad that they might launch the kit. So I'd be very surprised to see if they do play with the old kit and it's whatever, taped over. But there are a couple of things at play here. But at the same time, although those things are going on in the background, I think a lot of people are reading very deeply into it. A lot of kits, when they are launched, it is, you know, very, very close to the actual game when the players are over. Because you have to keep in mind as well, the players are usually flown over to Dublin for that, aren't they? And I know that they had the badge reveal there or whatever. They might have done the shoot then. Maybe they're just not revealing it yet. Yeah. So look, there's a load of different things, but yeah, I probably haven't answered the question there at all. Jonathan Hill
just got on a rant there, Nick.
Jonathan Hill. Look, I don't even know what to say.
We don't know. Like it's like no. There could be a lot of stuff going on behind. With the FEI rebrand, I do understand why, because there's a stench to the FEI. I'm not having to go with the FEI. There is a stench to the FEI. So clearly,
but have they done it the right way? Is this the right way? Is this the right way to rebrand?
So, yeah. Because then they're gonna turn around and say, "Look, you're not sponsoring the FEI. You're sponsoring the Irish football team, and there's a difference." And I think that's the thinking behind this. So they're kind of rebranding the team, but they're not rebranding the FAI because, you know, the FAI has that history, etc. I think that's just what they've done. I think that's smart. I don't have an issue with that. Why they call it Football Ireland, I don't know. Or Ireland Football, I would have called it Football Ireland. Personally,
like it reminds me of Sport Ireland. You know,
it doesn't matter.
That kind of I don't know. Look, I think. I think the FAI, the existing FAI, could have done a lot of things to rectify it without a rebrand. They could have done a lot of things to rectify it, and there's still a lot of deficiencies in how that organization is run.
There is, but I think they're
glaring deficiencies.
I think they were correct in doing that. But you know what? If you really wanted to rebrand, if you really, really, really wanted to launch the FAI into the stratosphere, and you want to get people behind the Ireland team, this is what you should have done here.
All right, let's have a look at this then. Can I go?
It's really cool. Totally impressed. It's gorgeous and well impressed.
You can see straight away that's Ireland, you know, that's...
Happy. I'm happy with that. I don't know, I just love it. Gives me goosebumps.
That would really get people behind the Ireland team. So yeah, 15th of 15. That's when the squad's getting announced. Anything before we move on there, Nick? You want to add about the squad?
Yeah, just look on the squad. I think the time for experimentation was back in November. I don't think we're going to see a huge amount of change. It's all going to come down to availability and come down to form. So like the Mark Sykes, I think, is going to be in the squad. I think that'll be the main one who, you know, hasn't really been around the squads in the last little while. He played in November. He probably cemented the place with the form. I think Mikey Johnson's going to sneak in. He hasn't played a lot over in Portugal, but I do think he's going to sneak in. And Tom Cannon, I really think he's going to be a dark horse there to come in, because the way I look at it is like Adam Ida. I watched him today for Norwich against Sunderland. He was very poor, very, very poor. And, you know, Troy Parrott, I think there's a lot of unfair criticism of him, but if you're looking at form, If you're looking at a striker and confidence, Evan Ferguson's the obvious one, and then after that is Tom Cannon. There's the whole dual nationality aspect to him as well. So get him in, get him involved. I think there could be a sneaky place for Luke O'Connell. He's playing for Barnsley. But apart from that, like I don't think we're going to see many shocks or surprises, to be honest. But look, it'll be an interesting one to see. I think that Latvia friendly, it does give him an opportunity. It does give Stephen Kenny an opportunity to try a few lads out. But I wouldn't be surprised to see our strongest 11 go out against Latvia. Maybe a wholesale of changes, maybe on the 70th minute or something like that, and then the exact same team to play France. But November was no. I don't want to dwell on November, but it was wasted. But I don't think we're going to see any major changes in this squad.
I don't think he's going to change. He won't change. He thinks now consistency is key. Just to have, it's not the players, it's the lack of practice and having them play the same. That seems to be the mantra come from the camp. November was a complete waste of time. To be honest, that was the time to experiment. There's two trains. Will he want to go out and play full 11 against Latvia and then he could get injuries? Probably not. But I do think he will just play a full 11 and then, as you say, maybe 60th minute. Although he is reticent to make substitutions.
He'll want a result as well. Look, Latvia are very.
He'll want momentum. He will
want momentum, but we have to stretch our depth. I think in such a narrow pool, you have to stretch your depth, and these kind of games are the way to do it.
I don't think he will. I don't think he'll change at all. I think he'll go with a very conservative squad. Maybe one little surprise. I don't think he'll have Smallbone in there.
Smallbone has to be in there.
He should be.
He's had a poor season, but he's one of our informed players in the last couple of weeks.
He was excellent on the weekend. Look, for me, he should be brought in November. I want him to be involved. He should be involved, but he won't be. I think he's just going to go because it's France. World Cup runners up, he won't do it, but we'll see what happens anyway. But when it is announced, we will do a reactionary podcast straight away, and we'll have it out there for you on the 15th. Right. Shall we go on to the League of Ireland roundup?
Yes.
Are you ready for a bit? You're ready for a bit of League of Ireland action, are you?
Can't wait, Dave.
Well, here's Ross from LOI Fan TV with your weekly League of Ireland roundup. Take it away, Ross.
What's going on, guys? Ross here from LOI Fan TV. Delighted to be back again with another game week roundup in the Premier Division. Starting off with the Brandywell, it was a 0-0 draw between Derry City and Dundalk. Derry City huffed and puffed and were definitely the better side throughout, but Dundalk were well drilled and organised and will feel like they deserved their point to a degree, but Derry will definitely consider it 2 points dropped. We saw another 0-0 draw at Talca Park as Shelbourne and Shamrock Rovers frustrated each other. Not any kind of major big chances for either side in this one. Shell's obviously quite organised and well and aren't conceding many goals this year. I think it's 3 clean sheets from 5 games for Conor Kern so far, but Rovers are yet to get going, and there was a little bit of tension in the stands following the game. There was a clip that went around of Sean Hoare talking to one of the fans after the game, so definitely some bad vibes at Rovers at the moment. Result in isolation, I don't think is a bad result for either side, to be honest. We saw St. Pat's fans calling for Tim Clancy's head after another defeat in the Dublin derby against Bohemians. Bohemians won. They're in great form, obviously top of the league at the moment. I think it's 12 points from a possible 15 so far, but for Pats they've been way below par this season. Really disappointing from them, and it is potentially only a matter of time before Tim Clancy is getting the boot. He's under serious pressure, and with someone like Keith Long on the market as well, kind of without a job at the moment, it's definitely something that Pats will consider. So yeah, definitely want to keep an eye on over the next week or so. Drogheda also continued their excellent start to the season, picking up a vital 1-0 win at the Bowl against UCD. Emmanuel Adebayoga with the header from a free kick, a Derry-only free kick, headed it home to secure all 3 points. A massive result for Kevin Doherty's side, and they are absolutely flying at the moment. 5th in the league, 8 points from 5 games. And it was a relatively tough start to the season as well, a couple of tough games in there. So yeah, they'll be absolutely thrilled with their start to the campaign. And then finally, we saw a crazy game at the Showgrounds as Sligo came back from 2 goals down to claim a 2-2 draw, scoring a last minute equaliser. A massive one for them to get kind of another point on the board, but Cork will be very disappointed, obviously putting themselves in an amazing position, 2-0 up away from home at the Showgrounds, and then to throw that away in the dying minutes is always very disappointing. And the LOI Fan TV player of the week this week is Bohemian man Ali Coote. He was instrumental in their 2-0 win at Richmond Park. He's been a real standout man for Bohemians this campaign so far and has been a real driving force in their midfield and really dominated in that area on Friday night. Thanks really for having me on again, guys, and I'll catch you next week.
Thanks, Ross. I'll be back next week. There is League of Ireland next week. When you know there wouldn't be any bloody League of Ireland on when I'm over in Ireland. I'm over in Ireland for a week. Did you know that, Nick?
Yeah, it's games on Paddy's Day. I've one bonus to pick, though. Bows won 2-0, not 1-0. Dean Williams scored in the last minute as well, so I have to plug them, don't I? I'm glad he gave Ali Coote the player of the week, though, and I'm glad Rovers are where they are. But look, that's why we don't do League of Ireland, isn't it?
Yeah.
You're a Pats fan, aren't you?
Yes. I would be a Pats fan. I was still living in Ireland. But yeah, I mean, I like to see do well. Obviously, FAI Cup champions, go Pats. But not doing very well.
Not holding.
No, they're not holding on to it, are they? But looking to hold on to their Premier League fucking place at the moment. Let's just do a little. Let's have a look at the league table, shall we? You know, I have to say though, a lot of positive stuff on the social media, and RT are like, we're interviewing a lot of people about it, and they're writing lots of articles saying how the League of Ireland seems to be on the way up, and they're like, you know, why is it? I'm like, because you show the fucking matches. You know? Like you're the national broadcaster, and you're asking why is it going up? Maybe because of people like Ross, maybe because of people, to be fair, like Paul with Irish Football Fan TV and other places, and you know we do our bit as well, are actually getting behind the league because you don't. How about that, RTE? And there's a groundswell there from younger lads like Ross, etc. And a few of them actually get behind and trying to get a bit of fucking behind the league. Or you have to laugh at RTE, fucking clowns. Anyway, here's a look at the Premier League division. Bows at the top. Nick is a happy man. Derry just underneath him there on 11 points. Bows at 12. Dundalk with 8 points, bit of a gap opening up there. Sligo, Drogheda, Cork, Shells in 7th. Shamrock Rovers, Pats, and UCD holding up the table. I'll tell you one thing that's never changed from even just glancing at the League of Ireland is UCD at the bottom of the fucking table. It's never changed, has it? Yeah. Student Bowl is it's the Student Bowl in Belfield, isn't it?
The Belfield Bowl, yeah. The Student Bowl.
It should be the Student Bowl. I should be a marketing manager now.
Sounds like a bar.
Yeah.
They have an excellent system. UCD. I mean, look at a couple of players they produced in the last years. Neil Ferrugia and Liam Kerrigan as well. So they've Georgie Kelly's another. So I mean, they do all right. They know what they're about. They know their expectations.
Yes, relegation.
They played in Europe not that long ago. So let's not forget that. So look, I mean, all power to them.
All power to them. Right, Nick, let's move on to the comments from our lovely, lovely supporters there that follow the show. Thank you very much for taking the time to watch us and actually sending some comments. Paul Culleton, that's Irish Football Retweets. Easy for me to say on Twitter. Give him a follow. Or just tag him. He'll retweet it for you. That's what he does. And he does it very, very well, actually, Paul. How are you doing? Great show, Lance. Hope you're doing well. Hopefully, the Ireland under-17s will finish the job tomorrow and qualify for the European Championships after the 2-2 draw with Italy and the 3-0 win over Ukraine. Yes, I believe if they avoid defeat to Cyprus, who are already out, then they will finish second, and the top 7 runners-up out of 8 qualify automatically for the next round, for the elite round. Yeah. Underage football teams always do really well. The Irish teams, they always have.
Look. Our grass, I think it's a very, very lazy argument. When people go for the FBI, one of the first things they go for is the grassroots, and they say it's rubbish. For the last 15 years, we've been qualifying for underage tournaments. Not the under-21s, but at 16s, 17s, 19s level, we've been at tournaments for the last 15 years or so. So there has to be a bit of credit where it's due.
Yeah, 100%. Kieran O'Shea, I'm sick of English podcasts thinking Evan Ferguson's going to change the England team. I'm pretty sure he doesn't qualify for England. He does. And
yeah, he's not going to play for England.
No. Nuri responds, he does actually qualify for England because his ma is English, but it's not going to happen.
No.
It's just not going to happen. No. Don't worry. Don't you worry about it, Kieran O'Shea. Don't you let that mean Evan Ferguson or those mean England fans worry you. Over to another Kieran Boyle over in Florida. Lads, are we going to get Tom Cannon into the squad? The new crest is brutal. Captain Wojcik and it looked dire with Castori.
Yeah, I think Cannon's going to be in the squad, and if he's not, it's very naive of Kenny. We're not France or England or Italy or whoever. We can't afford to let these young lads be passed up, and Kenny does give the young lads a chance before their time as well. Cannon is in form. It's not just the goals or the stats. His all-round play is excellent. He is dual nationality. I honestly think he's going to be in the squad. I think he's just bolted in, and if he's not in, and if they say, oh, we want him to be with Jim Crawford's under 21s or whatever, it's a load of shite. My mate, Jim, yeah, it's a load of shite. If they do that, it's a lazy argument, and it's a very, very poor decision. I think he's going to be in, though. I think he's going to be in the squad.
Bloody better be. I mean, you say he use a chance. He didn't quite do that. Well, he did with Evan Ferguson in November, but fucking November. Yeah. I don't want to talk about it. Fuck November. Paul Coulton again. Could Nick, being a Bows fan, could he give us an insight into young midfielder James McManus? It looks like he's a really good prospect and could be in the Irish under 19 squad for elite qualifying in a couple of weeks. Nick?
Yeah, look, he's part of that core group who've come through in the last couple of years. He's still very young. I mean, that's the thing with Bows. They do blood the lads very, very young. He's been involved with the first team squad for a long, long time, and he's very slight. He still has a lot of development to do. Very, very raw, but very exciting player. I think he's going to be in the same kind of ilk as Dawson Devoy, Danny Mandrew. I think there will be clubs kind of having a look at him. He's excellent, and but at the same time, bit of patience with him. They're flying at the moment. They really, really are, and I mean, he's going to be a key part of that, I think.
All right, relax. It's not a Bows podcast. Jesus.
Not yet.
Not yet. Peter Nolan, 20, Celtic FC. Who do you support, Peter? Should play small bone new players against Latvia like Mickey Johnson too. Yeah, probably won't though, but hopefully they do. Nuri Newick again. Jonathan Hill is doing a great job by simply not being John Delaney. We never got shot at the other fella. We couldn't get away from him. We never hear from Jonathan Hill.
They're both based in the UK, I suppose.
Yes, yes, they are. One of these days, I'm going to bump into John Delaney. Did I ever tell you the story how I bumped into Declan Rice?
No, but you did tell me the story about bumping into Jim Beglin. Go on, tell us the story about Declan Rice.
Jim Beglin told the story. I bumped into Jim Beglin. No, I was working at a restaurant. I won't mention where. It was 2019, and he was there with his mates, and I was on the door, and he came out and he just goes, "All right, mate, do you know what a podcast? Oh, do you know what not podcast? You know what a car park is?" And I just looked at him, and I just put on the biggest, thickest Irish accent and went, "Yeah, you just go down there, down past the thing, blah blah blah," and his face just dropped.
Where did you actually send him?
I did actually send him. I'm a professional. I did actually send him to the car. Right. I should have said, "Yeah, Deco, you go past there, go past the shop. You can return those 3 caps that you stole, and then into the hat shop there, and then you go off and fuck off in your car, in your BMW." But yeah, it's a true story. I did actually bump into Declan Rice. I couldn't believe it, and he was just stared at him. I wanted to tell him to fuck off, but I couldn't. But I won't mention where that was. I don't work there anymore. Yes, great. Glenn Forbes, great work in the pods, fellas. Do you think the crest should continuously change or be permanent, or the crest so far? Which one of the crest so far? Which one would you choose to make permanent? Thanks. You mean on a rotation? No, I think it. I don't know.
No, I don't think so. I think with any team, they do refresh it, but not that often. I mean, you're talking every 30, 40 years, aren't you?
Well, actually.
And coming back to the question, I suppose it has to be the Italian 91, doesn't it?
Oh yeah, you're right.
Although I love the USA 94 one up. It's just a proper sports badge. Just a proper sports badge.
Didn't like that one. I remember I was watching. Where are we playing? We were playing not Poland, Turkey. Turkey in Turkey, 91. It was the last game of the Euro 92 qualifier. I remember just sitting. I was a kid and was watching it. I was like, that's. Badge is different. No, that's a different badge. And I didn't know. And I remember actually drawing what I thought I'd seen, which was fucking nothing from what it actually was until I got a newer program and then actually got to see what the new badge was like. But yeah, that's how I realized. Never mention it. No mention of it. Just happened. Speaking of the older badges here, Nick, it was a graphic you sent over. Look at this here.
Yeah, that's all the recent rebrands. So the
Yeah.
recent rebrands of crest. The Australian one, actually, interestingly, that's been rebranded a few times in the last few years. So they do refresh it quite regularly. I know I keep going on about the kind of coat of arms type of crest. Like they did have one like that, but they have rebranded a lot in recent years. Apart from that, like I mean
Gibraltar one there.
Yeah, but if you do a bit of a comparison there of the old to the new, I mean, Jesus, ours wouldn't really rank highly amongst them, would it? I mean, look at the Mexico one; it's lovely, isn't it? And then even the Japanese one's lovely. The Belgian one, it's almost more retro looking, but I mean, ours is like they're proper football badges. Ours is very animation-y. I don't really know how
Paraguay
to describe
is nice. Paraguay is nice down the bottom left.
Yeah.
And I love the Gibraltar one with they've gone from casemates to the Rocket Gibraltar.
It's clever.
Yeah, it's like it's new age, it's quality. And then on to the last comment, actually from Glenn Forbes as well, and I totally agree with him here. Personally, the Euro 88 Italian 90 has been the best one. It has undoubtedly. If you're watching this, you can see down the bottom right-hand side, which is Paul McGrath's left nipple. It's the proper crest, not that shit that Nick's wearing, the bastardized version, which I pointed out to him in the Irish Townhouse. That is not the same one. He swore blind it was. I was like, it fucking wasn't. And it wasn't, Nick. You are a liar. So on that bombshell,
I love it, in fact.
It's not even. It's Umbro. It's not even Adidas. We never use that crest at Umbro.
Yeah.
Just lies. So, Nick, on that bombshell, we're going to leave it there. We will be back during the week. We won't have this week back in a day because it's International Week. We're coming into it. But we will be back with this week back in a day, the following week. We have a big International Week coming up. We've got the reactionary episode to the squad. We'll have a preview on the Sunday for the game on Tuesday. It's a Tuesday. No, it's a Wednesday game, isn't it?
Monday.
No, Latvia.
Oh, sorry. Latvia's Wednesday and then France is Monday, isn't it? Yeah.
So we'll do a preview. Next Sunday will be a preview game for Latvia. I think that's what we're doing. And then, of course, we'll have various things. We'll be going to the Chris dinner. We'll be we'll be around the stadium anyway. Well, I will. Nick will probably still have COVID. But Martin and I will be over there. So if you see, say hello. Please. I want attention. So anyway, we're going to leave it there. Thank you very much. That is all we have time for. Thank you for supporting the podcast, those of you at home. Don't forget to follow us on Insta, Twitter, Facebook, anywhere you get your podcasts as well, the greenmachinepodcast.com. We do have some exciting stuff coming up as well, so do keep an eye on that all across our social media platforms. Thanks, guys. We'll see you next week. And I didn't line up the video. I need to see that sexy Mick one more time. Will we do it one more time?
Yeah, you can have a look at sexy Mick if you want.
There we go.
All right, let's have a look at this then. Can I go?
It's really cool.
Totally impressed. It's gorgeous and well impressed.
You can see straight away that's Ireland, that's...
Happy. I'm happy with that. I don't know, I just love it. Gives me goosebumps.
Oh, for fuck's sake. I pressed the wrong... I pressed the wrong... I love Mick. He's gorgeous. Gorgeous man.